Hello students, welcome to a new class. Here in this class we are going to learn about colloids. Okay, let us see some introduction and also few topics which are covered in this video. Okay, so to start with, what are these colloids? Thomas Graham in 1861, he was trying to do various experiments on the movement of solutions. Okay, so what did he observe when he was performing various experiments regarding the movement of solutions? He observed that there are some solutions of some substances like sodium chloride, various acids, bases, salts, urea. They are able to pass through porous membrane, whereas solutions of some other substances like starch, gum, gelatin, etc., they are not able to pass through porous membrane. Okay, so he has observed this difference between solutions of some substances like NaCl, acids, bases, salts, urea, and also solutions of some other substances like starch, gum, gelatin, etc. So the first type they are able to, or they are passing through porous membrane, whereas the later they are not able to pass through porous membrane. So basing on this property, Thomas he could classify solutions into two types. They are crystalloids or true solutions, and the second type are colloids. Okay, so what are these crystalloids and what are these colloids? Crystalloids are nothing but the solutions of those substances which can pass through porous membrane, and colloids are the solutions of those substances which do not or which cannot pass through porous membrane. Okay, students, understood? Crystalloids and colloids. Next, coming to colloids, they consist of two phases. We call them as dispersed phase and dispersion medium. Okay, colloids, they consist or they constitute two phases. Dispersed phase. What is dispersed phase? It is the smaller portion of colloids, and dispersion medium is the larger portion of colloids. Okay, but later slowly Graham changed his view regarding the movement of solutions. He observed that every substance can be converted into a colloid. For example, NaCl he has taken, and he has seen that in water NaCl is behaving as a crystalloid or a true solution, whereas the same NaCl when it is in benzene, it is behaving as a colloid. Okay, so taking into the consideration of size of the particle, solutions are classified into three types: crystalloids, colloids, and suspensions. Okay, so previously what he did, students, he could divide the solutions into two types depending upon their capability of passage through porous membrane. But later what happened, he observed that each and every substance can be converted into a colloid. So now taking the size of the particle into consideration, he classified solutions into three types: crystalloids, colloids, and suspensions. So now next let us see differences between these three types of solutions: crystalloids, colloids, and suspensions. Okay, I have divided, I have taken a table and divided into various columns, students. First column is serial number, next one is name of the property, third and the next crystalloids, colloids, and suspensions. First property, size of the particle. So if you observe crystalloids, the size of the particles in crystalloids less than 10 power minus 7 centimeters. Coming to colloids, it lies between 10 power minus 7 and 10 power minus 5 centimeters. And coming to suspensions, we see that the size of the particle is greater than 10 power minus 5 centimeters. Next, coming to the second property, that is filterability. The particles of crystalloids, they can pass through filter paper and also ultra filter paper as the size is less than 10 power minus 7 centimeters. Coming to colloids, the particles can pass through filter paper and cannot pass through ultra filter paper. And coming to suspensions, the particles cannot pass through filter paper and also ultra filter paper. as the size of the particle is greater than 10 power minus 5 centimeters. Next, third property is visibility. Coming to crystalloids, the particles cannot be seen even if you are using a powerful ultra microscope. Why? Because the size of the particle is very, very less. Coming to colloids, the particles cannot be seen through microscope, but they can be seen using an ultra microscope. Whereas suspensions, we can see the particles of even using our naked eye. Next, fourth property is nature of the system. Coming to crystalloids, we can say that the system is homogeneous. Coming to colloids, we say that the system is heterogeneous. And also suspensions, we say that the system is heterogeneous. Hope you know the meaning or know the difference between homogeneous and heterogeneous. Right, students? Right. Next, fifth one is external appearance. So outward appearance of a crystalloid, we see that it's very clear, whereas colloids are generally clear. Sometimes it is seen to be opaque, and suspensions, it is always opaque. Next property, Tyndall effect. Tyndall effect is not shown by crystalloids and shown by colloids and not shown by suspensions. Same is the case with Brownian moment also. Crystalloids do not show this property, whereas colloids show this property and suspensions do not show this property. Next, eighth one is diffusion, that is moment. Crystalloids, if we see that here they diffuse readily, that means they move freely. Colloids, they move with difficulty. Suspensions, they do not diffuse, that means they do not move because of the size of the particle is greater. Okay, these are the differences between crystalloids, colloids and suspension, students. Is it not easy? Yes, very easy. Next, classification of colloids. Okay, so we can see various types of colloids depending upon various factors. So first one I have taken here, basing on the physical states of dispersed phase and dispersion medium. Colloids are classified like this. Okay, I have given a table here, students. Dispersed phase, dispersion medium, example and name of the colloid. Okay, so first I have taken all three types, solid, liquid and gas, dispersed phase. Next, dispersion medium, commonly I have taken solid and the examples are given and the name of the colloid. When dispersed phase is solid, dispersion medium is solid, we call the colloid as solid sol. Next, when dispersed phase is liquid and dispersion medium is solid, we call the colloid as gel. Next, gas, solid, solid foam. Next, solid, liquid, sol, liquid, liquid emulsion, gas, liquid, foam, solid, gas, aerosol, liquid, gas, liquid, aerosol. Okay, so you can note down the examples also, students. This is the first type of classification. What is it, ma? It is depending on the physical states of dispersed phase and dispersion medium. So these are all the types of colloids we have basing on the physical state. Second one is basing on appearance. Okay, there are two types basing on appearance. If it appears as a fluid, it is called as sol. If it appears as a solid, it is called as gel. Third one, basing on the interaction between dispersed phase and dispersion medium. Basing on the interaction between dispersed phase and dispersion medium. There are two types here, students, lyophilic and lyophobic colloids. Some call them as lyophilic and lyophobic. I call them as lyophilic and lyophobic. Okay, it's your choice how you call them as. So first one, lyophilic. Leo meaning is solvent, philic, loving. The salts in which there is affinity between dispersed phase and dispersion medium, we call them as lyophilic colloids. Examples also I have given, students. Next, lyophobic colloids. Leo means solvent, phobic means hating. That means there is no affinity between dispersed phase particles and dispersion medium. This is the third type of classification. Next, fourth one, basing on the electrical charge on the dispersed phase. If the particles have positive charge, we call it as positive colloid. If the particles have negative charge, we call it as a negative colloid. This is the fourth classification. Next, basing on structure of the colloidal particles. There are two types, molecular and micellar colloids. If the particles are like single macromolecules, we call as molecular colloids. If the particles are like aggregates of many molecules, we call as micellar colloids. Okay, students? Next, basing on particle shape. There are two types, spirocolloids and linear colloids. This is the sixth classification, basing on particle shape. If the particles are globular, we call it as spirocolloids. If the particles are like fibers, we call them as linear colloids. Okay, students? So this is all about classification of colloids. Next, the important question, differences between lyophilic and lyophobic colloids. I have also again divided here into 4 columns, serial number, name of the property, lyophilic and lyophobic colloids. The first one is the affinity between dispersed phase particles and dispersion medium. So, if we observe the affinity between dispersed phase and dispersion medium, lyophilic colloids, we see that there is more affinity. Lyophobic colloids, we see that there is no affinity between dispersed phase and dispersion medium. Second property, students, effect of electrolytes. These are not easily precipitated when you add electrolytes as they are very, very stable. Okay, lyophilic colloids cannot be precipitated on addition of electrolytes. The reason is as they are highly stable. Coming to lyophobic colloids, they are easily precipitated by the addition of even smaller amounts of electrolytes. Okay, understood the difference between these two, ma? Next, third one is nature. These means lyophilic colloids, they are reversible. What does it mean? What does it mean? Once precipitated, they can come back to the colloidal state. Okay, whereas lyophobic colloids, they are irreversible. Next, fifth one is viscosity. Viscosity, if we observe the lyophilic colloids viscosity, it's greater than that of the medium, whereas lyophobic colloids, it's equal to that of the medium. Okay, students, this can be asked as a 2 marks question. Hope you enjoyed all these topics. Okay, students, and I also feel that these are quite easy, and you don't need even much explanation. If I give these topics like you do the seminars, you will rock it or you will nail it, right, students? Okay, then. So hope you enjoyed all these topics, ma. Next, write down all this in your notebooks. So again and again, why I do this, why I say this, because your students, I know the attitude and mentality of students. Oh, we will write it later. Okay, we have so much of time. We will write it. We will write. Simply will be postponing. I can see only very, very, very few students, even less than 5, who give the feedback like it's very easy, it's understandable, and very nice explanation. So how many of you watch and how many of you comment? It shows your interest in noting down all these topics, students. Okay, so don't be like that. You must be thinking, okay, these videos are available on the channel, so whenever we need, okay, but you should show some interest. Okay, so first listen, write down the notes, then later on whenever you want to watch again and again, you can watch it as many times as you like. Okay, students, so hope you enjoyed it. Students, one thing I want to tell you, please what is this, share the videos to your friends who are outside of the college. Help them to learn all these topics. Many of them might not be getting proper notes also. Okay, so don't be selfish. Please share it with your friends. Help them to subscribe the channel so that they don't miss any of the lessons of first and second year, especially physical chemistry. Almost all topics I have done and uploaded on the channel, students. And also don't forget to like the video. And also our students, even if you have not subscribed till now, please subscribe. Okay, students. So hope you enjoyed all these topics, right? So have a nice time, students. Stay safe and take care. Bye-bye.